I never imagined that one day I would be sitting here speaking these words out loud, feeling a knot in my chest, as if I'm about to jump into cold water. Usually when I speak, it's about new ideas, bold plans, the future that's waiting just beyond the horizon. But today feels different. Today isn't about the future at all. It's about this exact moment and a goodbye I never thought I would have to say. Before I go any further, let me ask you something. Have you ever had to say goodbye to someone or something you truly cared about, not because you wanted to, but because you knew it was the right thing to do? Maybe a friend, a place, a dream, even a version of yourself you had outgrown. If you've ever been there, type goodbye in the comments. I want to know how many of you understand this feeling, not just losing, but letting go. Right now, as I'm speaking to you, that's exactly where I am. This isn't a story from the past. This isn't me looking back on a chapter already closed. This is happening now in real time. I'm in the middle of it, standing at the edge of something I can't quite see. And for the first time in a very long time, I don't have all the answers. It's strange, isn't it? How we can be so sure of our path, so confident in our choices, and then suddenly find ourselves staring at a door we didn't expect, knowing that once we step through it, nothing will be quite the same. That's where I am right now. One foot on familiar ground, the other hovering over unknown territory, trying to summon the courage to move. I don't want you to think of this as a sad moment. It's not. It's a real moment. It is the kind of moment that comes to everyone eventually when you are forced to pause and ask yourself what matters most. What are you willing to release so that something else, something new can grow? And yet, even knowing that, it's not easy. My mind keeps searching for reasons to stay the same, to hold on tighter, to keep everything exactly as it's always been. But somewhere deeper, in a place beyond logic, I know it's time. Time to make space. Time to let go. I'm sharing this with you because I've learned that when you hold something like this inside, it grows heavier. But when you speak it, when you share it, it becomes lighter, even if just a little. And right now, I need that. I need you to understand what this moment feels like. So, as you're listening, know that you're not just hearing words. You're hearing a turning point, not a tragedy, not an ending, a turning point. And just like every turning point, it's filled with uncertainty, fear, but also a strange kind of hope. In a few minutes, I'll tell you why this goodbye has to happen. But before that, I just want you to feel what I'm feeling right now. The weight of a decision, the quiet before a change, the heartbeat of a moment when you know you're about to step into something new. Because this isn't just my story, this is our story. Every one of us will face a goodbye we didn't plan for, a goodbye we didn't want, but one that still shapes us. And when it comes, it's not weakness to feel nervous, to hesitate, to hold on for one last second. It's human. So here I am speaking not as a businessman, not as an inventor, but as a person standing on the edge of a choice. My voice might sound calm, but my heart is racing. My hands might be steady, but inside I'm trembling just a little. Because in a moment I will tell you what this goodbye is and why I have no choice but to make it. So why? That's the question, isn't it? Why say goodbye at all when everything looks like it's still working? When the world thinks you're still on top? When people expect you to keep going no matter what? The truth is, sometimes the hardest part of success isn't starting something. It's knowing when to let go, knowing when your presence is no longer helping but holding back, knowing when the thing you built needs space to breathe without you constantly standing over it. That's where I am right now, and it feels strange to even admit it. For years, my life has been about building rockets, cars, ideas, futures. Every time I thought, this is it, this is the mission that will define me, and for a while it did. But missions have lifespans, just like people. They're born, they grow, they mature, and sometimes they reach a point where you realize your role isn't to hold on tighter, but to step aside and let them evolve on their own. That's the goodbye I'm talking about. Not goodbye to life, not goodbye to the dream, but goodbye to the version of me that always had to be at the center of everything. There comes a moment when you have to ask, am I doing this because it is still the best I can give, or because I am afraid of who I'll be if I stop? That question has been haunting me for months, and the answer, though painful, is clear. I have to step back, not because I'm tired, not because I've lost faith, but because there's a bigger truth here. No one person is bigger than the mission. And if I really believe in the future I've been talking about all these years, then I have to trust others to carry it forward. That's the hardest part, honestly. Trust. Trusting that the people around me, the engineers, the dreamers, the leaders can continue without me watching over every detail. Trusting that I don't have to be everywhere at once solving every problem. Trusting that maybe, just maybe, I've done enough to give them the tools to succeed without me. And at the same time, I know this goodbye is also a hello. A hello to new challenges, new spaces, new parts of myself I haven't had the courage to explore yet. Because let's be honest, as much as I've done, there are still parts of me that feel unfinished. Still ideas I've been too busy, too distracted, too afraid to face. So this goodbye isn't just about leaving something behind, it's about creating space for something new, I know some people will see this as weakness. They'll say he gave up or he couldn't handle it anymore, but they don't understand. Letting go isn't weakness. It's one of the strongest choices you can make, because it means you're not clinging to control, you're not ruled by fear, you're not hiding behind the safety of routine. It means you're alive enough to grow. Right now, as I'm saying these words, I can feel two voices fighting inside me. One is screaming, stay. Don't change, don't risk it. People are counting on you. The other is whispering, go, trust, breathe, become something new. And for once, I'm listening to the whisper. That's why I have to say goodbye. Not because I'm running away, but because I'm running towards something else, something I don't fully understand yet, but I know is waiting for me on the other side of this choice. And yes, it's scary, terrifying actually to stand in front of millions of people, to admit you don't have all the answers, to say that you're stepping back when the world wants you to keep pushing forward. But if there's one thing I've learned, it's this. Fear is a compass. If something scares you this much, it usually means you're heading in the right direction. So here I am, not with sadness, but with gratitude. Gratitude for everything this journey has given me, and gratitude for the chance to take the next step, even if I don't yet know exactly where it leads. This is my goodbye, not forever, but enough to change everything. When I said I have to say goodbye, I wasn't speaking in riddles. I meant it, and now it's time to tell you exactly what that means. I'm saying goodbye to the version of my life where I was everywhere at once, where every second of my day was consumed by projects, deadlines, launches, risks. I'm saying goodbye to the rhythm of constant pressure, constant urgency, constant responsibility that left me little room to breathe as a human being. But more specifically, I'm saying goodbye to my role at the center of it all. The man who couldn't miss a single meeting, the man who had to approve every design, every plan, every bold move, the man who couldn't allow himself a single day of weakness because the entire world was watching. That version of me has to go, because here's the truth I've been afraid to admit. For years, I've been chasing so many futures that I forgot to live in the present. I forgot what it means to sit in silence without my mind racing toward the next crisis. I forgot how it feels to laugh without checking my phone every 5 seconds. I forgot that being alive isn't measured only in milestones and achievements, but in the small fleeting moments you never get back once they're gone. And so my goodbye is also about reclaiming those moments. I'm leaving behind the idea that I have to sacrifice everything, my peace, my health, my relationships in order to deserve success. That myth is seductive, but it's destructive, and I've lived it long enough to know the cost. You see, success looks glamorous from the outside, but from the inside, it often feels like walking a tight rope over fire. Every step could be the one that makes you fall. Every mistake could burn everything down. And after years of walking that rope, you begin to wonder, is this really the only way to live? For me, the answer came slowly. At first, it was little things, waking up and realizing I hadn't seen the sunrise in months because my nights bled into mornings without pause. Talking to people I cared about only to realize I wasn't really listening. I was already mentally somewhere else, seeing milestones achieved and feeling nothing. No joy, no relief, just the immediate weight of the next problem waiting in line. And that's when I realized this isn't sustainable, not just for me, but for anyone. No matter how strong you think you are, no matter how ambitious, you cannot run at full speed forever. At some point, the engine that drives you becomes the engine that consumes you. That's why I knew a goodbye had to come. Not to the dream, not to the mission, but to the way I've been living that mission. So let me be clear, I'm not abandoning what I built. I'm not turning my back on the future, but I am stepping away from being the one who carries all of it on my shoulders. I'm handing it over to the teams, to the leaders I've trusted, to the people who've proven again and again that they're ready. This isn't a collapse, it's a transition, and transitions are always painful because they force you to confront the part of yourself that doesn't want to let go. I'll tell you something I haven't said out loud before. There was a night not too long ago when I sat alone in my office long after everyone else had gone home, papers scattered across the desk, screens glowing in the dark, silence louder than any rocket launch. And I asked myself, if I walked away tomorrow, what would remain? The answer wasn't the numbers, the profits, the headlines. It was the people, the ones who gave their lives and hearts to the vision, the ones who stayed late nights, missed family dinners, put everything on the line because they believed. And I realized I don't need to control them, I need to trust them. That was the turning point. That was when I knew this goodbye wasn't just possible, it was necessary. But let's not pretend it's easy, because even as I speak these words, there's a part of me that wants to pull back, to say, never mind, I can still handle it, I can still keep going like before. That's the addict inside me, addicted to the rush of being indispensable, addicted to the idea that if I step away, everything will fall apart, and yet I know that's not true. The world doesn't end when one person lets go. In fact, sometimes it begins again. So this goodbye isn't about failure, it's about faith. Faith in others, faith in the future. And yes, faith in myself that I can be more than the man who never stopped working, never stopped chasing, never stopped proving. Because here's the deeper truth. I don't want my life to be remembered only in launches and headlines.